Hello guys, welcome back to another tutorial. Hit the bell icon button so that you don't miss out any tutorial.
Hello guys, and welcome to Routes, Views and Layouts. So here we are going to create a new Laravel website, added a few pages to it, create a layout, extend it to our views and add a sidebar. So let's start with creating a new Laravel website. I'm going to my development folder and just type Laravel new basic website. So this is crafting the new application. As you can see, it's loading all the packages from the cache because we already made an installation of, a crafting of a new Laravel application. So the installer doesn't need to download everything again, and it's just loading it from your local machine, your local environment, which is really good because you don't need an internet connection to create a new Laravel app. Plus, it's much more faster than downloading everything again. So, as I was saying, we are going to create a new website, add a home, contact, and about page. We are going to see how to create a template and using it in our views. And we are going to see how to add a sidebar to our pages. So let's wait for this to finish. It shouldn't be long. We're almost there. Great. So now we have our new application. Let's try it out. PHP artisan serve. Localhost :8000, and here is our new brand application. So now we have to create a home, contact, and about pages. Let's open our text editor. And we're just going to search for our new website. And here it is. So now we are going to look for our routes file, and here is our main route, our home route, which returns now the welcome view. I just need to add two more routes. For example, contact and about. So for this, we are going to create a new view, just and call it home. Now we're going to create a second route. We have home, contact, and about pages, as I said. So let's see how to create a new route. So this is a way to create a new get route /contact. And as you can see from above, we have to type function and just return a view called, for example, contact. I'm going to do the same thing for the about page. About and about. So now we have our three routes for our application. If we try to test it, we are going to see that the view is not found, and the same with contact, and the same with about. Of course, that's because we haven't created the views yet. So let's create our views in resources, views. I'm going to create a new file called home.blade.php. And we can add a header with home in it. And we just try this out and we have home. Okay. Now we can check the item from the list, and we have to create a contact and about pages. So let's add a new file. This would be contact.blade.php, h1 contact. This is just for test purposes. And another one, of course, called about.blade.php. So h1 about. So if we enter to contact, we are going to see contact as and about as well. So we have our 3 pages. Now we can check them out on our list. And now we're going to create a new layout. If we see this source code, it's only h1 about. That's what we wrote. So let's just go to home, and we're going to add some HTML code and format. Just write here. We need just to type HTML and press enter. I'm going to put this on the body, and I'm going to put this basic website as a title. Now we can see it's pretty much the same, but we have HTML head and body tags. So as we want this on our 3 pages, we don't want to rewrite code, so we're going to create a template file or layout. So I'm going to create a layouts folder, and as a convention, app.blade.php as a new file. So I'm going to paste this, and here what happens. We want the body content to be different for every page. So we just need to define a content section. And we're going to use this on our pages. And we're going to extend that layout, which is in layouts folder, and it's called app. And now we can define our section that's called content. So we add the home header, for example, just type in section. Now this is extending our layout and putting the title or the body content on it. So of course the source code is pretty much the same, but now we are using templates and extending those templates. Okay? So we can check the items on our list. And let's say we want to add a sidebar. First of all, I'm going to extend the layout to our contact and about. I'm going to put contact here, contact us, and the same for the about page. So let's test it. And we have localhost contact and localhost about. So now we have our 3 pages using template. Okay, let's add a sidebar. We are defining a section called sidebar. And I'm just going to add a div class sidebar with some content in it. h3 sidebar, and this is the sidebar. Let's check this out. and it's not showing because we have to include that section in the pages that we want to see it. So we have section sidebar, and now we are seeing our sidebar. If we want to add content or append content to it, we just type some text in the section. And this is not showing because we need to add a directive to our template that should be add show. And this is going to show the sidebar on every page as well. And in our sidebar, we just need to add parent, so all the content is shown from the parent, our template, and our child, which is home.play.php. Let's grab this and create a new file within an inc folder. So this is going to be an include. And we just call this sidebar.play.php and just paste this code and add or include this file in this template. So you can see that it's pretty much the same. And notice that it's showing as well in contact and about pages. That's because of the show directive. So that would be it. We can check our last item of our list. We are going to see how to compile our assets, particularly the CSS styles. So we're going to see what is webmix, the thing used to compile our assets in Laravel. We're going to install Node.js and npm, create a new custom CSS file, link it to our template, make changes and compile them, and finally add a navbar, showcase, jumbotron, and a footer. So if we go to Laravel website, we're going to find that Laravel Mix provides a fluent API for defining Webpack build steps for your Laravel application using several common CSS and JavaScript preprocessors. So take a look at this code, and if we go to our project, we're going to find this code in the Webpack Mix file. Okay, so it's the same code, and if you see, we have two files, one public/gs, and we can see it from here, app.js. So this is compiled and minified, and the same thing happens with the CSS file, which is also compiled and minified. We are going to work with these files and not the ones on the public folder. We go to resources, SAS, and here is our file. And we have JS app.js, and you can see that Vue is included here, which is a JavaScript front-end framework. So we are going to work with those files and make changes on them as well. You can, of course, you can work with plain CSS, but now we are going to use SAS. So now that we've seen what is webmix, we should go and install Node.js, which also installs npm. Let's check the first item of our list. That's it. Now I have to install Node. So let's search for Node.js page. Here it is. And we're going to download the long-term support and just open it. As I said, you don't need to look out for npm because Node.js installs npm as well. So let's click next on all steps and wait for this to install. It's pretty fast, so let's wait until it's finished. Now let's take a look at the Laravel page. The only remaining step is to install Laravel Mix, of course, so we should run npm install within our directory, our project directory, which is in my case development basic website, as we created it on the last video. So just type npm install. Okay, so this could take a while, and in the meantime I'll show you what is this doing on the background. Great, so let's return to our code, and if we look to our package.json, we see that this is installing many packages like Axios, which is a HTTP client, Bootstrap, the CSS framework, jQuery, Laravel Mix, of course, and for example Vue, and other dependencies as well. So let's take a look at variables as CSS, where we have the color of the body background, font family, and other stuff for our page. Great, so this is done. Great, the next thing to do is to create our own custom CSS file. You can see that this variable file, it is imported from the app as CSS, like this. And now we're going to create our custom file in this folder. So I'm going to call it _custom.scss, and we need to import it into our app as CSS file, like this. Add import custom. You don't need the underscore because it really knows where to look. And now that we have our custom file, we can link it into our template. So let's type link and hit enter. And we just need to change the name, which is, of course, app CSS. Okay, which is this one, as we've seen, that is compiled and minified. So let's try to serve our application and see if there is any change. Okay, we don't need that, we need 8000. And of course, it's the same thing. Now we just need to try changing something from the variables file. Let's open it. And for example, we're going to change the background color to black. and see if it works. Okay, so it's not working because we need to compile these assets. Okay, and this is made by entering our directory and just type npm run dev, which is going to compile every asset of our project. You can see that it is compiling it, and now it's done. You can see here app.css and app.js. So if we update or refresh our page, now the background is black. We can, of course, change it back. But before doing that, we're going to run a command. So npm watches every time a file is changed. So we don't have to run npm run dev every time we make changes to our assets. So this is compiling automatically every time. You can see that if we change this file, it is compiling it. And now we have changed our background again. Okay, so this is running all the time. And now we can check this item out, and we have created a new custom CSS file. We've linked it to our template. We've made some changes and compiled them. Now it's the turn to add a navbar. For this, we're going to open a new web page and look for getbootstrap.com. Let's type, let's click on examples, and we are looking for a starter template here. And if we press Ctrl U, we're going to see the source code, and I'm going to grab the entire nav class, which ends here. So let's copy this and add it to our template, or better, we should add a new include file, which is going to be called navbar.blade.php, and we're going to paste this code on this file. Let's just save it and include it into our template. In the beginning of the body. So let's include inc navbar, and let's see how it goes. Great, so here is our navbar. Let's make some fixes. I'm going to remove the search box. Great, it's done. Now I don't want the navbar link either. I'm going to remove also the drop down, which is down here. Okay, done. And now we want 3 links: home, contact, and about. Let's remove this disabled item. And add a new one. So we have home, I want this clear as well. And now we have home, about, and contact. Great. So it's not working because we have to add the links to them. I'm going to remove the active class as well. So for the refs, let's try with slash for home, slash about for about, and of course slash contact for contact. Okay, so let's see how it goes. And we have home, about, and contact. Now you can see this navbar is fixed. So let's remove the fixed top class. And this way we can see all of our page's content. Home, about, and contact. Okay? Great. So we have our navbar with our links. And it's time to give more style to our pages. So let's go back to our template. And in the body, we're going to add a div class container, because we're using Bootstrap, and another class with call md8 and call lg8. That way we have a column layout, and I'm going to put the content on it. And for our sidebar, I'm going to make a class with call md4 and call lg4. Let's put the sidebar content on it. And the navbar goes on the top. Sorry, the sidebar needs to go inside the column d4. Okay, let's see. Okay, we have home and the sidebar is not where it should be. I think I forgot, yeah, a div class row. And we have to wrap all the contents. Let's rearrange this. Okay, let's refresh. And now we have our home title and our sidebar. Let's take this appended text and add it a paragraph tag. So it goes below the sidebar text. Great. Now we're done. And I want to change the sidebar class for card. So it looks like more like a card, I think. And I have this text outside the card. We'll change the show directive. And now it's outside the card. Great. So now I have our sidebar finished. And I want to add a paragraph to our home page. You can type lorem and hit enter. I have our lorem ipsum text. Great. And let's make the same thing for our other two pages. Just type p lorem. And let's change the text so it's a little bit different. And sorry for contact, we are not putting any text yet. We're going to do the contact form on the next video. So this is blank. And now we can check the add a navbar for list. And the next thing to do is to add a showcase jumbotron. Great, so let's add a new file called showcase.blade.php. And we're going to add a div class jumbotron and a text center class. Now we need to add another div container. And for example, let's write welcome to our first Laravel site. And a paragraph with class lead. So it looks bigger. And just write welcome to our brand new website. This site uses Laravel 5.8. Okay, I think that's it. Let's save this and add it, of course, to our template. Otherwise, we are not going to see that on the page. So I'm going to include it here. Showcase. And now we have our showcase. Okay. Now, an interesting feature of Blade, for example, is that if we don't want to show the showcase on every page and just on the main page, you can add an if directive and check for the route or the request. In this case, if we are on the home page, let's show the showcase, and otherwise do not show the showcase. So as you can see, there is in home and not in about and not in contact. Okay. Great. So this is looking nice. We can check the item on the list, and now we have to add a footer. Let's go to our template, and before the end of the body, we're going to add a footer class with an ID footer, so we can style it, and a text center class. And here we can add, for example, a paragraph with copyright content and the copyright sign. Okay, we have our footer. Let's style it. For this, we're going to open our custom CSS file. Just call the footer ID. And I would like to put a margin top of 30 pixels, padding of 20 pixels, color black, and background, let's try this color. And here we have our footer. You can see that Laravel Mix compiled the assets. Sorry, color was white, not black. And that's the last item of our list. We're going to see how to create a form using Bootstrap. We're going to create a new post route and give it a name. Then we will call the new route from the form. We are going to see what is CSRF, or cross-site request forgery. We're going to add a CSRF token to our form, and we are going to check the request parameters sent from the form. Okay. So the first thing to do is to create a new form. So I'm going to open our project. Here we are, and we have in resources views, we have our contact page. So here we have to add a new form, right? So let's go to Bootstrap. And we're going to search for, Bootstrap form. Here we are. And here we have an overview or an example. So I'm going to copy this and paste it on our contact page and see how it looks like. Let's serve our application. PHP artisan serve. Okay, let's try this out. Host. And if we go to contact page, here we have our form. As we are using Bootstrap, as we saw in the last video, this is using Bootstrap as well. So here we have an email address and a password. So in the next few minutes we're going to change this. Let's go back to our list, and now we have a form, and we have to add fields using Bootstrap. Okay, so for example, for a contact form we can use a name from the user, of course an email, a subject, and a text, which is going to be the inquiry, right? So let's add this. I'm going to take the password away and the check as well. Okay, so first of all, we need to look for, I'm going to rearrange this. Okay, I'm going to add a text field. I'm going to use div class form group as we are using Bootstrap. I'm going to copy this. And we have name, and here this is of type text. An ID of name, and name in this case is name2. So we don't have a describe section, for example here. We want to keep this for the email field, but not for any other field. So I'm going to erase this, and for a placeholder, for example, enter name. So let's see if this works. Great, we have a name field and an email address field. So we have to add a subject, which is going to be another text field, and a text area. So for example, this is subject. This is text as well. Name, we're going to use subject. and for the ID too. And for the placeholder, of course, enter subject. And the same for the message, okay? So let's see how it looks. Okay, now we have our name, email, subject, and message. So take a look at this. Maybe we want a large field for the message. So if you're going to Bootstrap page, we have an example text area. So I'm going to grab this, which is the code for the text area, and we're going to replace this code. So now we have again message, name message, and ID message. And I'm going to leave this with 3 rows. So let's see how it goes. Great. Now we have a bigger area to write our message, and we can resize it from here. Okay. So now we have our Bootstrap form, and now I have to create a new post route and name it. This is because we have a form here, and to send the information in this form, we need to make a post request. So the action of this form would be post, and we need to put a link to send this information. So this would be the method post, and the link would be action. So for example, we could create a new route called contact/submit. Okay. So now we have to create a new route. We're going to routes web.php, and I'm going to create a new post route, which is going to be contact/submit. Okay, so let's try this out. For example, with an OK message. This is saved. So let's see how this goes. Okay, I'm going to submit the form, and we have an error. This is a security error, and as you can see here, we are going to see what is CSRF and add a CSRF token to our form. So now I have created a new route, called the new route from the form, and we are going to see what is CSRF. So let's go to Laravel CSRF. And here you can see that Laravel makes it easy to protect your application from cross-site request forgery attacks, which are a type of malicious exploit whereby unauthorized commands are performed on behalf of an authenticated user. Okay, you can read more of CSRF if you want. So to prevent this, we only have to add this directive within our form. So let's do this here. And if we test our form again, great, now it works. Of course, we are testing this and it's working okay, but it throws us a warning that this will throw an error in a future version of PHP. So let's change this for example 1, 2, 3. I think this would be the same thing. No, okay, it works. Okay, so behind the scenes we have, if we inspect the source code, we should see here in our form this variable, input type hidden, so we are not seeing it. The name is token and we have a value. So this is the same as at CSRF. We can put an input hidden variable here or just call this magic method from Laravel blade directive, okay? Great, so we saw what is CSRF and added a CSRF token to our form. Now, for example, we can name our routes, okay? Let's see here. We can give this route a name. Take a look at this. You can search for Laravel routes. And here we have a section called named routes. So it says named routes allow the convenient generation of URLs or redirects for specific routes. And you may specify a name for a route by chaining the name method onto the route definition. So let's do that here. For example, name contact form submit. Now we don't have to remember all of our application routes, so instead of putting contact/submit here, we can call the name of the route. So every variable that you're putting here in the blade files should be between double curly braces like this. And now we can call the route function and just said contact form submit. Let's save this. This is saved. And if we refresh the page here and inspect the code again, we can see that the action is actually contact/submit. So it's pretty much the same thing. It's a more clean way to do it. And of course it works. And it helps you to organize your code, because if you change for some reason this route, for example, to this, you don't have to search for contact/submit on every form you use it, because you are calling it for the name. So this helps you in your development. Okay, let's go back. So maybe you should name all of your routes. Okay, I'm going to do this now. So this would be home. This would be contact. And this would be about, of course. Okay. Great. And you can see that it is working as well. So let's check this out again. And now we have to see if we are getting our parameters in this instance. Okay. So as you can see here, we're sending a name, email address, subject, and message. That's why we added the name attribute here. So if we go to our routes file again, here we can return a request all. So what is this? Request is a global variable that you have here in Laravel that contains all of the request information that you are receiving from the page that's calling this route. Okay, so here we are receiving a request from our contact form, and I'm going to show all of its parameters. Let's see if this works. And now we have, as a JSON form, we have our token, our name, subject, and message. So we don't have the email here. I think that's because we don't added a name. Yeah, I didn't change this. And the name attribute. Oh, sorry, we have to refresh the form, and now we have our email. So there is a nicer way to see this, and it is with the DD function, which stands for dump and die. So this will dump the request all variable and then kill the application. And now we see it as an array. Okay, so this is a cleaner way. We have a name, email, subject, and message. And if we add data to it, for example, John Doe, john@doe.com. This is the subject. Hello, this is a test message. So let's submit this. And here we have our data. So indeed, we are receiving our data.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, do give us a thumbs up and share it. Also check out amazing discounts and offers on our premium courses in the description below.